Good morning people, my name is Annabelle, this is my husband Ben, you're watching the Horizon Cosplay YouTube channel, and today we're going to be doing a challenge called Corsetry in Motion. Now the Corsetry in Motion collaboration is something that we've come up with on Corsetry, where basically you've got to wear a corset and do things you wouldn't normally do and show what you can do in it. And the thing is, I wear corsets quite a lot, so I can do a lot in them. Ben never wears a corset, so we're going to see what he can do instead. So guys, this is the corset that I made him. The video will be linked just up here if you want to go watch it. This corset is based on a pattern that I found for 1830's stays, but it is made for men, and I am actually holding it upside down. Bit better. So Ben's going to put it on, he's going to wear it all day, aren't you honey? And we've got a whole list of chores and things to do, things to fix, cleaning to do today, and we're just going to go see if he survives. I'm going to be in a normal t-shirt because he's the one doing the challenge. How did breakfast in a corset go?
I had to eat a lot slower.
But you still managed to eat everything?
Apparently so.
Did it taste better?
I wouldn't say it tasted better, no. It just tasted like normal breakfast.
It just took longer to eat?
Yeah.
Alright, lift your shirt up, let's see if it's pulling at all.
It really isn't.
Oh, it looks good. You can't even tell you're wearing it when you've got a shirt over the top.
I know, that's the best part about it.
The first thing on our list to do was hoovering and mopping all the floors in the downstairs area, something that Ben did with great skill while I stood behind him holding a camera, because we all know that cleaning the house, secretly, is the man's responsibility in the relationship. And I can say that he moved most of the furniture by himself with no complaint about the corset, something I was mildly surprised at if I'm honest. Thoughts on wearing the corset so far?
It's comfortable. Yeah, it does restrict your breathing, but that's because it's just more than what you're used to. Like if you're used to being relaxed in your chest, then yeah, of course it's going to be a bit more uncomfortable the first few times you use it. But it does the job, it's comfortable, it doesn't feel like it's digging in anywhere. I feel comfortable wearing this under things like shirts and t-shirts and such, because on a tuck-in shirt maybe you have to be a bit more careful, but with just normal t-shirts you can't really tell that it's there.
Mowgli, what do you think of Ben's corset? The next thing on our to-do list for the day was to run to the shops just to get a few basic groceries. We didn't spend too long there, but it was nice to get the corset out the house and see if Ben could survive in the wild while wearing it. He even managed to drive the car without crashing, I'm proud to say, and with also no complaints. It seems that this day was going relatively well. The next task, once we arrived home, was to reorganise the pantry and put away our groceries, something which, to be honest, has been on our list to do for weeks. So I'm glad we got it done today. And once we'd made and eaten lunch, which was a lovely egg and bacon sandwich by the way, we decided to sit down and play some video games for a little bit. After all, gotta give yourself a break even on those days when you have lots to do. And of course, as often happens when you get really into playing your video games, we lost track of time and next thing we knew it was time to make dinner, something that Ben always does with an awful lot of skill. Tonight on the menu was pea and bacon risotto. There was a lot of bacon that happened that day, clearly. And I've got to say that throughout the cooking process, Ben flew around that kitchen, making sure everything got done like there was no tomorrow, and absolutely perfect. Certainly, from my point of view, the corset wasn't hindering him in any way. And the food turned out even better than usual, probably because he knew he was on camera and had to do everything correct. Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay Ben, so yesterday you spent all day wearing the corset and now you've had a night to sleep on it. What are your initial thoughts on it?
I like it. It's quite nice. It's not as hard to move around in as I initially thought it was going to be, but it also ended up giving my body and back really good posture. You couldn't just slouch, essentially, because if you slouch, it actually became more painful to wear because it's forcing you to sit in that upright position. So if you're doing a costume where you require it to have that broad chest, shoulders back, straight look to it, for instance like a king or a knight or something, it's actually really good because it tightens the entirety of your stomach and chest muscles.
Okay, so you'd be willing to wear it again?
Oh yeah. The only thing I would say is if you're sat on something like a sofa or something along those lines, something where your knees are higher than your waist, almost, then it starts to become a little uncomfortable because the base of where the ribbing of the corset is starts to dig into your waist, and that can become a bit uncomfortable. So I did a session of gaming. When I was on the sofa, I almost had to deliberately lean backwards with my legs forward to prevent my stomach from being like almost constricted almost. But apart from that, if you're in a chair like I am now, it's quite comfortable to wear. When I was driving, it was quite comfortable to wear. It does leave you a little short of breath, but I think that's just because I'm not used to having my chest and stomach restricted, which is, you know,
But
obvious.
you weren't struggling to breathe in.
No. It's like you can't just do that really deep breath. When you're standing, it doesn't really make much of a difference. It just keeps your stomach in tight.
So, were there any points where you just totally forgot you were wearing the corset throughout the day?
Actually, when I was cooking last night, you kind of forget it. When I sat down, it kind of came back. But I don't know. There's no point there I completely forgot it was there. But then again, I've never completely forgot I haven't got socks on.
So, what would you say was the hardest thing you did in a corset yesterday, or most uncomfortable?
Sitting on the sofa. Sitting on the sofa and gaming was actually quite uncomfortable because I like to game with my chest forward, with my hands on my knees like this.
Yeah.
But to do that, it kind of presses the corset, because the corset's a rigid form, it pushes it itself into your stomach and into your waist. You can't breathe because it's almost then further restricting your access to your chest. If you're standing in a gaming chair at a PC, you probably won't have much of a problem with it because the PC chairs generally force you to sit in an upright position with your back posture correctly, so it shouldn't really affect you. And even then, my PC chair, you know, rocks back as well, which further alleviates the stress on your chest. So all in all, it's not as constricting, and I'd happily wear it again, especially for costumes and such that I may need to do in the future. I would love to try it with some of the costumes that you've made me, and just to see, because my Dai Li costume, of course, the tightest part I had was across my chest and stomach.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if I put my corset on with that, just make it a bit more comfortable to wear. I want to try that.
Maybe that'll have to be another video.
Plus, I'd like to try it with future costumes that we make in the future. So all in all, I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Awesome. And just aesthetically, did you like how it looked?
It toned up my body to how I'd like it to look, so it's a goal to work to now.
I mean, did you like how the corset looked? But yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay, just double checking.
The corset looks slim and simple. I don't like it when it starts getting fancy because, again, it's like underwear. For men in particular, it's like there's no point having fancy underwear because you don't see it. You see all these adverts online. It's like, oh, look, I've got this sexy underwear. It's like, no one cares. Corset is the same thing. It's there to do a job.
Yeah.
It's not there to look amazing. It looks good and it looks professional, but at the same time, I'd rather it do the job better than it to look something, because eventually it's always going to be under something. So if it's under my shirt, why do I need to make it look fancy?
Yeah.
But apart from that, it was enjoyable. I actually enjoyed having that under my chest to see what it's like, because I can now picture it when I'm wearing suits and other such, how it can restrict everything and make it a bit more tight.
And I suppose the final question I've got is, if I were to make you another corset, would you want me to do anything differently?
The only thing that needs to be done is, because the shape on the bottom does this, almost, you need to put some form of elastic around the base. Or do what they do in like hoodies, where there's a string that runs around the rim, so that bottom piece can be pulled in tight. Because what I found was everything up to here, not including the little tip of the corset, would be pulled in tight, but that piece would not quite do its job. Whereas if there was a string or elastic, tight elastic that runs out, it would pull that last bit in just to make the difference.
No, that's good. And on my part, probably one thing that I would like to do differently next time is add an extra boning channel either side of the grommets, just so that they stayed more straight when I tightened it up.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But what about, because I actually totally forgot to put the boning channel in the centre front. Did you mind that? Was it noticeable?
I think if you'd done that, it would have made it a lot more uncomfortable.
Next time you have to make a corset, are you going to actually make it yourself?
I'll attempt to, but...
You attempt to? Is that a promise?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Well guys, I think that is everything for today. If you guys would like the pattern for the men's corset, it is available on my Etsy shop. The link is in the description down below. And otherwise, have a beautiful day. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to see more of our adventures, and hopefully see Ben making his own corset next time. Bye!